Sometimes we put these questions out on social media. You guys go kind of crazy with the comments. And, well, we got a hot topic for this edition of the Brew. Jersey Joe here. I'm on the box over there from Vegas. And we got lots to talk about on this edition. So let's get right to it right now. The question I put on social media that you guys love is, what would you do if President Trump knocked on your door? Would you let him in? What if you had to use the bathroom? How would you respond if Donald Trump knocked on your door? That's the question for this edition of the Brew right here now. So those of you watching us live, hit us up with your comments. We got a stack of them to get through. A lot of great topics, a lot of things to talk about on this one. So, Joel, let's go to you first out there. So, what would you do if President Trump knocked on your door?
Well, my answer is actually going to surprise a couple people, especially the people who follow me on Twitter, because it's not going to be hostile at all. It's going to be more of like understanding. Now, I'm just playing that he can suck my dick. I'll slam the door in his face.
Oh, man. Wow. Okay, well, that's interesting. Well, what would I do if he came to the door? I'd let him in. I'd take a selfie. Heck yeah, you know what? Like, why not? If the president comes in here, I would take a picture with him. Doesn't matter who it is. But I would say this. I would say, well, Mr. President, just give me 5 minutes to clean the restroom if you want to use it. However, though, because you deserve a pristine bathroom, Mr. President. That's definitely what I want. So I would just just give me a minute here. It'll be fine. But, definitely let me service the men's room if you would, because you never know, even when I have a guest come over, you come over, anybody comes here, the first thing I try to do man to man is clean the bathroom. And then once they're done, I take all kinds of selfies and pictures and be like, yeah, hope the hospitality is good. And then I don't even offer them a beer or whatever. And even the Secret Service members with them too, I'd shake their hands saying, hey, thanks for working hard on your job. And if you too need to use a bathroom like a beer, hey, go for it. So, I guess I'm a patriotic guy at heart.
Yeah, I'm more like unpatriotic, but go off.
The interesting is we put this question on social media, and you guys had a ton of different answers. Look at a bunch of them right now. There's a lot to get through. Degford Brown's blog says, I would slam it in his face, referring to the door. Rennie Got Sours, lock the door and release the dogs. Interesting. Jeff Henry would put his head through a guillotine and sends a gift from Alfred Hitchcock. Really Matt Treat.
That guy.
Really Matt Treat sends a gif of him quietly and slowly closing the door, and then Mr. Burns saying, release the hounds. In fact, people love the Simpsons gifts in this one. More of them, because Tony Sadowski writes in, he'd open up a trap door and let him fall through it. Yeah. I know. It's definitely Giphy got a workout on this one, but people definitely almost want to treat him like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Let's go to more of your comments right now, because we also have some on both sides of the political angle. Rockford Qatar says, I'd tell him what a great racist he is, that no human being has ever succeeded at lying to his degree. What a terrific job he's doing wrecking the country, and how fantastic a failure of a man and president he is. That he's the most talented womanizer to ever hold office, and after his term ends, he'll be the greatest convict in the world as he stares through jail bars. Well, if you're going to bring out womanizing in the White House, well then, other presidents have done it too. There's I didn't have sexual intercourse with that woman, but I did with a Big Mac later. I
don't think a really false equivalency here. We're talking about level of bullshit, and then what he said is correct. What he said is right. Every single thing that he said gets a retweet from me.
It's definitely, different angles that people have on this one, and lots more to get to, so let's go to another one. Richard Poole writes in and says, that's part of the problem. People don't always agree. Let's not even have a conversation because you don't like someone doesn't accomplish anything. Listen to the Tim Cook interview on CBS this morning. He gives his side of the story on our president and meetings with him. And, Richard Poole is right. There are two sides to every story.
He's not. No, he's not. That dude doesn't fucking listen. I don't know if you never paid attention to this shit, but I have to be surrounded by it for a living. He doesn't listen to anything and anybody. He vetoed a bill that got a 100-0 credit in the Senate. It totally passed. He fucking vetoed it, and it would have been good for the country. That would have been bipartisan. He could have done that, but he didn't do any of that shit. He doesn't listen. So to say that you would sit down and have a conversation with him is a waste of time.
It's what different people's opinions are going to their door. And, the question is, even if that would happen, this is a campaign trail and it's coming up on campaign season. So, he is trying to, kissing the babies and doing that whole door knocker thing and all that. But let's get to more of your comments, because MH Braver writes in and says, he'd interview him. Kerry Harkleroad's got a crazy one. I'd pull off his wig and sell it on eBay with a bag of Cheetos, literally on the bag of Cheetos like a Cheetos hat. No one would ever be able to tell the difference. John Martin says, I would give him a big hug and then take a selfie. Nicole Pipitone writes in and says, I'd have a drink with him. And Cool Papa 654 says, I would invite him in, offer him a beer and some alternative medicine. Then I would ask him what he wants. But that's from what my understanding is that President Trump doesn't drink. But I do know for a fact, though, like, he used to have, there was Trump vodka, and I know I mentioned on one of our shows in the past that down in Atlantic City, like, when he had his casinos, there was a Trump vodka you could buy at the gift shops, and then in the bars, they would sell, like, Donald's Grape Mihai, which is this cocktail, which was Trump vodka, I think some kind of other, like, grape vodka or grape juice or something. And it was, like, you know, all over the place. And, of course, like, his vodka bottle was this, like, really exquisite, like, really high-end vodka bottle with, like, teas all over it and stuff. But, you know, when the casinos fell apart, like, I think the vodka, that's another one of his, like, endeavors that is, you know, like, with his airline that has gone away.
Just like all the rest of the shit that he ever has touched.
I know the guy's definitely had lots of different things he's invested in out there. Warrior comments right now is Nojo Pulsine writes in and says, same thing I do every time someone knocks on my door. Panic because social interactions are the worst. Well, you know what? There are some people too. Yeah, I mean, some people would actually like lose their crap and like, no, and just slam the door in his face and then go hide under their bed. Well, one thing we did out there, you know what, you guys had to say, let's go to the polls, because you guys always like have an answer on the poll. So here's the first one, and two of them actually for this edition. Would you let President Trump in if he knocked on your door? 64% of you said, nope, you would not. Only 36% of you said yes. So, okay, most of our viewers, Joel, they're saying, nope, they're not letting him in. That sounds about right.
Those probably came from my timeline, and the yeses probably came from yours.
I don't know about that, but this is not an official poll. We're not knowing a telepoll, whatever. It's just something we put out there on Twitter. But you know what? Maybe maybe the big wigs down in Washington should take a look at that and see, you know, how his performance is doing. And maybe they should take a look at this question. So put a second poll out there and ask, would you let President Trump use your bathroom on the campaign trail? Now, this one's a little bit different. It's tighter, though, because 54% said yes, they would, whereas 46% said no. So that's a dang close margin of error on that one. But, okay, so if the people that do open the door for him, apparently they're going to let him use the can.
Yeah, I would have thought that it would be a far less number than that, because that's a really strange request for anybody to just knock on your door and do.
That's true, it's true, but I mean, I guess, you know, man to man, that's one thing. Like, you know, when you gotta go, you kind of gotta let a dude go. But Burrow Al writes in with this comment. I love this comment on that poll. He's like, regardless of politics, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Here we go.
And I don't trust his 70-something bladder. There you go. So he's not even trusting him to use the can in the guy's house.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't trust anybody to use mine.
Yeah, I have though. So gee, thanks. I guess I got on the A list.
Yeah, you and Crispin, but I don't really have a choice with Crispin. He's just kind of, you know, here.
That's right. You know, by the way, would you let President Trump meet your little Chihuahua pup, Crispin? Would you ever let that happen?
No, he'd kill it, and then he'd buy me a goldfish and be like, "Oh, he's right there. I don't know what you're talking about."
He'd ask the dog for the green card at least and see if, you know, are you really an American? You know, that's crazy.
Actually, he might actually, yeah. That's a good point.
Well, hey, we appreciate all your great answers. Had a lot of them there. And one thing we want to make sure you do is like or subscribe button down below, because there's lots more fun to be had on this web show all the time. And on Thursdays, kicking back with Jersey Joe, do you ask for a lemon when you get a cocktail at the bar? I found out reasons why some people should pass on the lemon. So we're talking about lemons and cocktails, and maybe you want to think about that one. Thursday, kicking back Jersey Joe. Completely unrelated to politics whatsoever. But you know what? Sometimes alcohol can make the real world go away.
God bless it.
So there you go. Hey, I want to thank our live viewers for joining us. Thank you for all your great comments. Jersey Joe here, Eye on the Box over there saying thanks for watching. And as always, see you next time. Bye.